Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we take a deep dive into all sorts of fascinating topics. And today, we're strapping on our hiking boots and grabbing our compasses because we are headed to Ann Arbor, Michigan, a city so lovingly nicknamed Tree Town that you might just need a map to find your way out of the Arboretum. At least that's what we've heard. I'm Hari, your host for this journey through a mountain of research.
And I'm Kimi, your expert guide here to help us navigate this dense forest of information and unearth the most intriguing nuggets about Ann Arbor, a place that many know is the home of the University of Michigan. But as we'll uncover, it's a city with a story that stretches far beyond the campus, reaching back to its Native American roots and branching out into a surprisingly diverse tapestry of history, politics, and culture.
So let's start our exploration by stepping back in time to the period before Ann Arbor officially appeared on the map, a time when the Anishinaabe people, a group of tribes including the Odawa, Ojibwe, and Potawatomi, called this area home.
That's right. And these tribes established an intricate network of trails that crisscross the region, not only showcasing their deep understanding of the land, but also hinting at the interconnectedness that would become a defining characteristic of Ann Arbor's future. It's fascinating to consider how these early pathways laid the groundwork for the city's growth and development.
Yeah, it really makes you think about how the past shapes the present, doesn't it? But before we get too ahead of ourselves, let's rewind to the official founding of Ann Arbor in 1824, a story that involves a bit of romance, a touch of whimsy, and perhaps even a dash of humor.
Two land speculators, John Allen and Elisha Walker Rumsey, decided to name their newly established settlement after their wives, both coincidentally named Anne, and inspired by the abundance of bur oak trees in the area, they added Arbor to the name, creating the unique moniker we know today.
It's charming to think that the city's name has such a personal origin. But I have to admit, I'm particularly intrigued by the Ojibwe people's response to this new settlement. They apparently called it Kaguch-Konik, a name inspired by the sound of Allen's rather loud sawmill, which must have been quite a contrast to the tranquility of the surrounding forests.
It's a reminder that history is often told from multiple perspectives, and that even the seemingly mundane details, like the sound of a sawmill, can shape how people perceive a place. This newly christened Ann Arbor quickly gained prominence, becoming the Washtenaw County seat in 1827, and even coming incredibly close to being chosen as the state capital, which is a lesser-known fact that often surprises people.
It really makes you wonder how Ann Arbor might have evolved if it had become the center of Michigan's government. Would it still have that charming small-town feel, or would it have transformed into a bustling metropolis?
It's a fascinating question to consider, but as fate would have it, Lansing was ultimately chosen as the capital, and Ann Arbor's story took a different turn, one that would be deeply intertwined with the arrival of a certain institution that would forever shape its destiny.
Ah, yes. The University of Michigan, which came to Ann Arbor in 1837, a move that would not only transform the city's landscape, but also its intellectual and cultural identity.
Absolutely, and the university's impact is still felt today in countless ways, from the thousands of people it employs not just in academia, but also in healthcare and research, to the vast amount of land it owns, especially in the downtown area, which has shaped the city's development in profound ways. And it's not just the physical presence of the university, that has shaped Ann Arbor. It's also the influx of ideas, perspectives, and a certain spirit of activism that have made the city a hotbed for progressive politics, especially during those tumultuous decades of the 1960s and the 1970s.
Right. And it's incredible to think that Ann Arbor was the site of the very first teach-in against the Vietnam War in 1965, a landmark event that sparked a wave of similar protests across the country and really cemented the city's reputation as a place where people weren't afraid to, challenge the status quo.
Yeah, and that commitment to progressive values extended beyond the anti-war movement, manifesting in the rise of the Human Rights Party, a local political force that championed a truly forward-thinking agenda, securing seats on the city council and implementing groundbreaking policies that were ahead of their time, including anti-discrimination ordinances and even measures to decriminalize marijuana possession.
It's remarkable to think how much impact a local political party had on shaping the social fabric of Ann Arbor. And it certainly adds another layer to its nickname, the People's Republic of Ann Arbor, a moniker that reflects both its left-leaning politics and its independent spirit.
Yeah, it's a reminder that even at the local level, political activism can drive significant change and shape a community's identity. And speaking of shaping identity, it's important to note that Ann Arbor isn't just a college town defined by the university and its politics. It's also home to a thriving and surprisingly diverse economy that extends far beyond the realm of academia.
Absolutely. And I think many people might be surprised to learn that Ann Arbor is the headquarters for some major corporations like Domino's Pizza, which might seem like an unlikely fit for a city known for its intellectualism and liberalism, but it's a testament to the city's ability to attract a wide range of businesses.
And it's not just Domino's. Of course, there's also Zingerman's Delicatessen, a local institution that has become a culinary icon renowned for its incredible sandwiches and its commitment to community engagement, further solidifying Ann Arbor's reputation as a place where food and culture intersect in delightful ways.
It seems like every time we peel back another layer of Ann Arbor, we discover a new surprise. And speaking of surprises, I was astonished to learn that this city holds the distinction of ranking first in the entire U.S. for the number of booksellers and books sold per capita, a fact that speaks volumes about its love for literature and its vibrant intellectual atmosphere.
It's a testament to the city's deep-rooted connection to the written word. And of course, the university's presence has also attracted a significant number of high-tech companies, creating a dynamic tech sector that thrives alongside its academic and culinary scenes.
It's clear that Ann Arbor is a city of many facets, offering something for everyone, whether you're a history buff, a politically engaged individual, a foodie, or a bookworm. And speaking of those with diverse interests, I'm curious to learn more about the city's cultural scene and what life is really like in this so-called People's Republic of Ann Arbor.
Well, imagine a city brimming with art music and a healthy dose of quirkiness, where annual events like the Ann Arbor Art Fairs draw crowds of over 500,000 visitors to experience a vibrant showcase of visual arts spread across the city's streets, transforming the urban landscape into a vibrant tapestry of creativity.
Over 500,000 visitors, that's incredible. And it speaks to the draw of these art fairs and the city's reputation as a cultural hub. And I understand that for film enthusiasts, the Ann Arbor Film Festival is another must-see event, showcasing experimental and independent filmmaking from around the world.
Absolutely. The Ann Arbor Film Festival has become a renowned platform for cutting-edge cinema. And amidst all this artistic expression, there's another element that adds to Ann Arbor's charm, a whimsical touch that you might not expect to find in a city known for its intellectualism. And that's the prevalence of tiny fairy doors tucked away in unexpected nooks and crannies throughout the city.
Fairy doors now, that's something I haven't heard of before, and it sounds delightful, like a little touch of magic sprinkled throughout the city. And speaking of things that might be considered magical by some, we can't overlook Ann Arbor's relaxed stance on marijuana, which has been decriminalized in the city and is even celebrated at the annual Hatch Bash event.
Indeed. And it's yet another example of Ann Arbor's willingness to embrace alternative viewpoints and challenge conventional norms. And to further understand the city's unique personality, we should explore its colorful array of nicknames, which offer a glimpse into how it's perceived both by residents and outsiders.
So let's delve into these nicknames, starting with the classic Tree Town, a moniker that speaks to the city's abundant greenery and its connection to nature.
Tree Town is certainly a fitting name. And then there's the more practical A2, short for Ann Arbor, which reflects the city's efficiency and straightforwardness. And of course, we can't forget the tongue-in-cheek People's Republic of Ann Arbor, a nod to its left-leaning politics and independent spirit.
It seems like each nickname captures a different aspect of Ann Arbor's multifaceted personality. But let's not forget that this is a city that exists in the real world with practical considerations like transportation. So how do people actually get around this bustling hub of activity?
Well, Ann Arbor's layout is fairly straightforward, with a classic grid pattern downtown that branches out into less structured streets in the surrounding areas, making it relatively easy to navigate, especially if you have a good sense of direction.
So having a compass might still be a good idea, especially when venturing beyond the familiar downtown grid.
Perhaps, but fear not, the city is well connected to the outside world with 3 major freeways encircling it, offering easy access to neighboring cities. And beyond and within the city itself, public transportation is well established, with the RIDE, the Ann Arbor Area Transportation Authority, providing comprehensive bus services throughout the city and even extending to nearby Ypsilanti.
That's good to know, and I understand that for those flying in, there's a convenient bus service called Air Ride that connects directly to Detroit Metro Airport, making it easy to access the city from afar.
Exactly, and for those who prefer a more scenic journey, there's Amtrak's Wolverine train service, which connects Ann Arbor to Chicago and Pontiac via Detroit, offering a leisurely way to experience the surrounding landscape.
It sounds like Ann Arbor has a transportation option for every preference and need, whether you're a student rushing to class, a commuter heading to work, or a visitor exploring the city's cultural gems. But there's one last aspect of Ann Arbor's story that I find particularly intriguing, and that's its global connections, a testament to its outward-looking perspective and its desire to engage with the wider world.
Ann Arbor has a remarkable network of 7 sister cities spread across the globe, partnerships that foster cultural exchange programs and create opportunities for international collaboration, bridging geographical and cultural divides in meaningful ways.
That's impressive. And I'm curious to learn more about these sister cities, which I understand span various continents and cultures, representing a diverse range of perspectives and experiences.
Yeah. Well, there's Tübingen in Germany, which has a particular strong connection to Ann Arbor, with regular exchange programs established between schools in both cities, fostering educational and cultural understanding from a young age.
That sounds like a wonderful initiative. But what about the other sister cities? What kind of connections are there?
Hiko in Japan is another notable sister city, also fostering educational exchanges. And then there are partnerships with Belize City in Belize Peterborough in Canada, Bugalpa in Nicaragua Dakar in Senegal, and Remedios in Cuba, representing a truly global network of connections.
It's inspiring to see how Ann Arbor has reached out across borders to build bridges with communities around the world, demonstrating its commitment to global citizenship and its recognition of the interconnectedness of our world. But with all this talk of Ann Arbor's connections to the wider world, I'm curious to circle back to its own internal dynamics, specifically its relationship with the University of Michigan, which we've touched upon throughout our exploration but haven't fully delved into.
That's a good point, and it's important to acknowledge that the relationship between the city and the university is complex, marked by both collaboration and tension, as the university's growth and expansion have inevitably impacted the city's landscape, its housing market, and its overall character.
It sounds like a delicate balancing act, trying to harness the university's resources and intellectual capital while also preserving the city's unique identity and ensuring that the needs of its residents are met.
Precisely. And this dynamic is something that many university towns grapple with, as the presence of a large academic institution inevitably shapes the social, economic, and political landscape of the surrounding community.
It's a reminder that even as we explore Ann Arbor's history, culture, and global connections, we can't lose sight of the local dynamics that shape its present and will continue to influence its future. So we've journeyed through Ann Arbor's past, from its Native American roots to its quirky founding story. We've delved into its political heart, explored its surprisingly diverse economy, and even peeked into its whimsical cultural nooks and crannies, discovering a city that's both deeply rooted in tradition and constantly evolving.
And we've encountered a place with many labels: Treetown, A2, the People's Republic, each reflecting a different facet of its personality. But as we stand here at this intersection of past, present, and future, the question that lingers in my mind is, what's next for Ann Arbor? How will this city navigate those inevitable changes on the horizon while preserving its unique character and spirit?
It's a question that resonates deeply, especially considering that complex interplay between the city and the University of Michigan, a relationship that we've touched upon throughout our exploration, but one that deserves further contemplation. As Ann Arbor continues to grow and evolve, how will it balance the needs of its residents with the university's expansion and influence?
Yeah, it's a delicate dance, to be sure, and one that requires careful consideration and collaboration between the city, the university, and its residents. Ann Arbor has a rich history of activism and community engagement, and it's encouraging to see that residents are actively involved in shaping their city's future, from debates about development and preservation to initiatives promoting sustainability and social justice. There's a palpable sense of collective ownership and a desire to create a city that works for everyone.
It sounds like Ann Arbor is a place where people aren't afraid to voice their opinions and advocate for the kind of future they envision, which is truly inspiring, and it speaks to the enduring legacy of its progressive roots. But as we wrap up our deep dive into Ann Arbor, I think it's essential to acknowledge that no city exists in a vacuum. It's part of a larger ecosystem, both regionally and globally.
That's an important point, and it brings us back to Ann Arbor's impressive network of sister cities, a testament to its outward-looking perspective and its commitment to building bridges across cultures. These global connections not only enrich Ann Arbor's cultural tapestry, but also offer opportunities for collaboration on pressing issues like climate change, economic development, and social justice.
So as we bid farewell to Ann Arbor for now, we encourage you, dear listener, to keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep learning. Whether you're a longtime resident, a curious visitor, or someone simply intrigued by the stories that cities tell, Ann Arbor offers a wealth of insights into the complexities of urban life, the enduring power of community, and the importance of embracing both local and global perspectives.
And remember, just as Ann Arbor is a city of many trees, it's also a city of many stories, each waiting to be discovered and shared.
Until our next deep dive, may your journeys be filled with wonder and discovery.